What's up, YouTube world? My name is Devin. This is my first of hopefully many videos of taking you through my journey over the last few years of building a 1,000 horsepower street truck from a bone stock 2016 Silverado 5.3 LT direct injected motor. We're gonna take a deep dive into parts, trials, errors, what I think were probably the more valuable parts that really wakes this truck up. If that's something you're interested in, stick around, watch the video. Let me know what you think. If you have any comments, comment. If you have any criticism, I'm all about it. When I started this truck in 2017, not a lot of people were doing it. The goal was to have a fun daily driver with some boost, and I wanted it to be fast. So here you go. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna try and keep this video pretty short for you guys, so let's get started. So early 2017, I bought the truck, purposely bought with a V8, with the tow package, 6 L83 truck, regular cab short bed Chevy, just a regular cab guy. So first thing I did was got a hold of Texas Speed and ordered a stage 2 cam, fairly small, nothing crazy. These are the specs. Since we still have a stock converter in the truck at the time. Of course, we got their complete kit with the extra lifters to delete the DOD. We got push rods, we got valve springs, retainers. We did a trunnion kit on the rockers and the extra fuel lobe. So got that all installed. I also installed a set of ARP head bolts at the time. Like I said, it's going to be daily friendly. So with everything installed, truck's running good, I take it to my buddy John Thomason Engineering. He's building the turbo kit. We started out with a Borg Warner S474.5 T4 from AGP Turbos. This was a good 800 horsepower turbo. John Thomason built everything from scratch. Everything was stainless. It's got crossover tube, Turbo Smart 50 millimeter race port blow off valve, 45 millimeter wastegate. We put a 4-inch catback MagnaFlow exhaust on it from the downpipe back. We got a full race intercooler core with split end tanks, kind of chops up the air going through the intercooler. At this time, we kept all the AC, we kept the heater, we relocated the coolant fill tank to the opposite side. I also had replaced the drive shaft with a 5-inch aluminum drive shaft. And that was it. We didn't have a boost controller. We just had a 7-pound spring in there. Something fun, something you could daily on. We took it to UMS tuning. We still have a stock fuel system. So we're gonna tune it on 91. And this was a great start. And the truck put down 502 horsepower and 503 torque at 7 pounds of boost on 91. And it was fun, but it wasn't as fast as I expected it to be. So things snowball, and I wanted to put some fuel in this thing. So we add DSX flex sensor. We add LT4 fuel system, which is a high side pump, LT4 injectors, I got an Armageddon intake pump, which is a 465 liters per hour pump in the tank. I get a boost controller finally. We get an eBoost 2 Turbo Smart boost controller, and we're gonna put this thing on E85. So we go back to UMS tuning, and big gains. The truck made 630 horsepower and equal torque on 11 pounds of boost on full E85, and it was fun. We still have stock wheels and tires. We still have stock suspension at the time. And I ended up putting a drag radial on the back of the stock wheels. And this truck would do consistent 12-second quarter miles, low 12s. And it was fun. So things progress, and we put a set of Viking coilovers on the front. We relocate the shocks in the rear with double adjustable Vikings. We put a set of Caltracs on it. And I start lightening the truck up. I end up putting 4x4 upper and lower control arms on the truck, which are aluminum from the factory, where the two-wheel drive trucks have cast iron control arms. So there's a little weight. I take the overload spring out the back, and that setup really worked. It was actually stock height, and it ripped on the street. So I take the sway bar out of the front, gives me a little more travel. We end up doing an exhaust cutout, QTP exhaust cutout, so we can get a little more flow through that hot side. You gotta remember, I'm still on stock rear end, stock axles, stock 342 gears, still running today. But we needed some traction, so we end up putting an Eaton True Track differential in the rear with the stock gears still in it. So we wanted more. So the motor comes back out. I put a set of drop-in GPI pistons and rods in it. This time I put head studs in it. We gapped the rings for more boost. We put a off-the-shelf Circle D converter in it, and we're going to turn it up a little bit, and we're going to put some meth in it. So now the truck's all back together. I do an L86 intake manifold on it with an LT1 throttle body, and this time we get it tuned by Cortez Racing. And what they did for me was they locked the cam out, they added a methanol kit, and they put it on the dyno. And on E50 fuel with meth, at around 15 pounds of boost, the truck's making right around 700. And that was fast enough to get us into the low 11s. So the truck is moving. We're still on stock wheels and a set of drag radials. We're still stock height. Truck is fun. It's a good sleeper, but it's a riot on the street. Just having fun with the truck. And then tragedy strikes, and we grenade the high pressure fuel pump, and we end up breaking a piston oiler at the same time. Oil pressure starts to go away. We break a chain tensioner. So motor's got to come back out. This time, I send the turbo out to get refreshed. We put new rings in it, put new bearings in it, and I put a forged crankshaft in it, which is just an LT1 crankshaft. So rods and pistons go back in, motor gets freshened up, heads get checked out. New high pressure fuel pump, and put a LME chain guide in it, and we lock the camshaft completely, and it's back on the road. So this time we're a little more serious as a race truck goes. So I start cutting more weight, I remove the AC, I remove the heater, I remove everything underneath the dash. We get a drag pack. We get some Bogarts, some Mickey Thompson, some skinnies in the front. Truck is happy on a 315 60/15. We do some TBM brakes up front. We do a 15-inch conversion in the rear. We do Max Track spindles up front, which is an aluminum spindle, 2-inch drop. The rear, I end up doing a flip kit. I end up putting a universal street truck sway bar in the rear and Calvert Caltrax split monoleafs in the rear. I end up moving the transcooler behind the diff. I move the battery behind the diff, starting to move some weight around. I do an air pump delete, and then we get serious about the converter. We called Circle D, they spec'd us out a converter, and it's probably the best investment on this truck. The converter really woke this truck up. It was exactly what it needed. I ended up putting Kirky seats in it, just a clean look. And now the truck's really ripping on the street. It's a lot lighter. It feels very responsive. And then the trans starts to slip. So I knew the trans was slipping, and it would slip in third gear every now and again. And then one day it was pissed. It had enough. So I called Circle D Transmissions. We get their 1,000 horsepower billet kit. That's installed. I replaced every part I could except for the housing. That goes back in. And so where we at, we have a forged bottom end. We have a built transmission. We have a real locker. And now it's time to go back to the track. So with this setup, around 700 wheel, it was fast enough to get us in the mid-10s. So the truck ran a 1060 at 133, and it runs great. Dialing in the suspension for the street is a little difficult, something I'm still getting used to. But we're doing good. But that wasn't enough, and it never is. So I wanted to run full E85, and I kind of got tired of the meth. So we call L83 Turbo, and they hook us up with a Z480, which is an 80 millimeter billet turbo, and we're going to start turning the boost up, and we're going to make some real power. So now we need fuel. So we go back to Cortez. Cortez installs DSX Atlas controller with their port plates, a set of 1050 injectors, triple 450 Aeromotive in-tank hat pump, 4 fuel system, regulator lines. We ditched the meth, and we're on full E85 at this point. So currently, as the truck sits right now, it's right at 900 wheel, and that's 20 pounds of boost. But we did notice that the valve train at 20 pounds of boost is starting to float some valves. So we turned it down a little bit, and on the street right now it's probably 870 to the wheel, and it's a handful. So future mods, a good set of lifters, verify push rod length, get some really strong race valve springs in that thing, and let her eat. So that's where we're at now. If you have any questions about anything I've said, hit me up. Not a lot of these LT trucks are running around. It's kind of why I wanted to make this video. So will the truck go 9s is the question. If you want to follow along, subscribe if that's what you guys want. I'll be posting a video soon at the track, and I'm going to continue to post these videos as things progress. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.